So we're going to begin our final remarks tonight, and our thank you, this afternoon, our thank yous, and we want to express some appreciation to some very important people who helped put this institute together. And I think many of you have already learned some of their names, but some of these people you haven't seen yet because they're working behind the scenes, but I still want to recognize their contributions here. So in the CRCD office, of course, I want to recognize Yvonne, our Vice Chancellor of Rural Community and Native Education, for making this entire event possible, having the vision to put this forward. And then the presenters got to know Izzy very well, and we all know Izzy as well too. She's out here in the front. She's kind of managed all the communication with the presenters and all of the room logistics for spaces like you're in now and some of the other spaces for the breakouts. Izzy was responsible for all that. And then many of you know Amanda's name by heart now, and she also worked with John Renfro, and they arranged your travel. I also want to recognize Leona Long. She was behind the scenes. Many of you didn't get a chance to see her. Some of you had an opportunity to either talk or email with her. She's our public information officer, and she's been getting information out about this institute so that we can inspire other Alaska Native languages groups and other Native American groups to do this type of work. So she's done a fine job with that. Cecilia Chamberlain and Sheena Tanner, they've developed the budget for this event. We know how important that is. And then Lisa Yancey worked with many of our team facilitators to make sure that things were in place for them to be able to do their job. Many of you met Scott Culbertson out front. He's the registrar. He also helped pull some strings to get some rooms we didn't initially have access to. So thank you, Scott. And then you all know Ashley. Ashley helped communicate with all of you, helped troubleshoot for many of you. And so I want to also make sure that we thank Ashley Holloway. So a round of applause for CRCD staff. We also worked with Kent Areola here in Wood Center for event scheduling. JR Anchetta, he's the guy who came and took our group picture. I don't know if you noticed, but earlier in the week he was also taking pictures of the event so that we can have some in our archives. Maya Stalganek and her crew here, they've been on camera all week making sure that we're getting our plenaries, our breakouts, and our important moments documented. They also provided the sound room that many of the language teams took advantage of. I know for me, it was one of my favorite times of the week to hear our first language elder speakers talk entirely in Inupiaq, and for us to sit and listen and learn during that. We have Matt and other OIT staff back here. Thank you for your help and assistance, making sure our presenters could use the equipment for the breakout. Also, thank you to KUAC for what they've provided. And then we always thank the people who provided the food for our event, because food is a major part of how we get together. So here at Wood Center, I have to say that the food is head and tails above, beyond anything I experienced when I came to college in the 1980s. I thought we had excellent food service here. So thank you to Tony Shover and her staff in helping us there. And then also thank you to Dixie Alexander for the moose soup and the fry bread on the first night for the cultural food gathering. And I also want to just real quickly take this opportunity to thank Sunny Luke for coming in and drumming our welcoming and our closing ceremony in a traditional manner. And Anna Frank and Luke Titus for participating in that and always willing to give us guidance at these major points in our work. And then from me, thank you everyone for coming. This was an amazing 4 days. I told Yvonne earlier today, I've spent over 30 years in my educational career. This has been one of the most meaningful things I think I've done. And I'm not going to say much because I'll just get emotional. I don't want to do that in front of everyone. But the work that we're doing is key to the survival of our communities and the survival of our children moving forward. I really believe that. There's wellness in what we're doing. There's inspiration and health, and everything comes from our language. And if we can help solidify and keep our languages alive, not just not just maintained, but alive and thriving and move in that direction again, I think we're going to see all kinds of other very positive aspects come to fruition, and our visions for many other aspects of our Indigenous lives come to our forefront. So thank you for doing this work. It's hard. It's very hard. It takes a lot of extra energy, and but as you well know, it's also very rewarding. And so that's why we keep doing it, because it's meaningful to each one of us. So thank you. Your turn.
Stay there. And as long as we're in doing that, the thank you mode, let's also give a huge round of applause for Sandy, for all of the work that she put in, while, having visions for things and how we'd like things to go. It's really the people that are in those positions of leadership that help pull all those pieces together to make sure that things run smoothly. And she really did a wonderful job being in that point position of coordinating for this. So let's give her a round of applause. And we also, I wanted to take a moment and invite Hune up here. Hune, we all know him now, if we didn't know him before this week, because I think he was on every other panel or something like that. But there's a reason he was there. He really has, I think, in this younger generation of Alaskan Native people and others, been a major inspiration for so many of us in the action he took to learn his language and then to share that knowledge that he went after with others. And I think that that really reflected to many other Alaskan Native people across the state that we can learn our language as a second language and become a proficient, fluent speaker in the language. And just seeing that example is so powerful. And so I wanted to acknowledge that role of inspiration that he has provided to many of us around the state, and gift him a necklace and thank him for his role of leadership that he continues to step into, because I know that leadership's not easy and it takes a lot. And so I just wanted to spend a moment to acknowledge that, Hune, and say, Ganos Shish. And before I share my closing remarks, I wanted to provide an opportunity for Hune also to share some closing remarks with us from his perspective of our week here together.
Gnis cheese clay na ya yejini, kat Johansu. Joya yi tlilk o has to jeet yi she yag. Tuck away aya has to dot you took with tank aya. Kat has aya ach in ye jehwane. Yawahanak has wu adi. Claydihina yakoa. We quitchin ka aya ha hunt u good. Ha ina kawanig. Gulkone aya. Yashinahik aya. Yi atwas kuku. Kashan kashawatshan. Gwall ach aya. Akayi hate. Hast du atwas kuku aya. Adach aya kakwahichtse. Kijk. Katri akade aya kakwaha. Gwalli silko has ane kat aya yuk atangiga yetliyehe. I juni tin kuchte kakwadaha. Ye awe hatu wasagul te kat yuhan. Ye koti aya shedeheni ahayetki. Has du einach aya ya kakwadaha yuk atangi. Het ade shukwahihi ye. Keka aya ha yuk atangi Alaska kak. Tutech aya hatu wasagu ye kukwasti. Ya ach kak klein aya kalkawu. Ya ach kik kakwask tin. Du yuk atangi aya kautu shahid. Yewa hatu asagu hain na kawanik ishkatnik lingit enach. Hutse awech autu wawus. Data tinech saya ti chatlakat yat lingit to altu a. One kanins what to saku yatik. Chuaya was sakit aya kudzati hatlakayitu. Yetlet ka aya has to ai kunach away hatlakay kahatuwu. Chuaya kunach a shot. Katlatua ashko a. Jahatlik aya hatlik o has ha ide haskakwashi. Ye awaha ina kawanik tach yak at. Yahuchi ayikha ach agak iye kwati chutlech kukakas ti lingit ye awa watusaku kunach oish duchtnuk wasa at kakwati kaltasa ayanach litzin aya wakashilk Dusakhani aya has to dachkankiyan aka. Achawi yagach to lak to cut you han. Gulchishach 80 sa ahi that. I think a lot about the people that I've had a chance to work with, and I'm so thankful for the work that's been done for this conference, from all of you, from our guests who've come to visit us, for those who do this tireless work. My favorite thing about this is I don't feel isolated at all. I don't feel one bit alone like sometimes I do. I know what it's like to work on a language. Sometimes you're just working and working, you feel like, who's there to help me? And I'm so thankful for those who have just put in the work, organizing. We had 100 people coming into a hotel. People were kind of grumpy there, but I understand. We had people on bus, trying to, just trying to get indigenous people. We're like, we're decolonizing the clock, which means we get there whenever we want. But everybody's done a great job just showing up, doing the work, because this is our passion. But for Yvonne and Sandy and Ashley and all your team, Maya, through your hard work, it's like you've taken our ancestors and guided them by the hand right to this place. It's not just pushing papers. It's changing lives. I think a lot about those old people I work with. I get really lonely for them and the ways that they help clarify a lot of things in my mind. They kept my mind from getting murky about how to think about our language and all of our languages. 20 strong, 20 forever. There was an uncle that I worked with a lot. His name was Khalkawu Cyril George. He just said he had all these gems that he would just drop on us. He's the one who said, "Gunil chish, ach chit yishi yiyach, ach tchkankiyan, ach tu letzinich yisati." And nothing could make me feel better. He said, "Thank you for leading me here by the hand, my grandchildren. You're my courage." Just to hear someone so accomplished who's 92 years old. And my clan brother Ishmael Hope and I, we wanted to record him and write down what his knowledge. 92 years old, he told us, no one had ever asked me to record stories in Tlingit. He couldn't hear at the time, so our dear friend Kathy Ruddy, who brought him there, who helped us, we would write something and she would show him the note. He would nod and make the recording. He was nervous because he said, some of this stuff maybe I'm not supposed to record. Like my Auntie Nora, she would say, when I first started recording the old people, they used to tease me and say, "Who's this beatnik walking around with a recorder?" And some of the old people get real scared. They said, we don't want our voice on that thing. One time when I was talking to her about it, she said, it was the hardest thing I ever had to do in my life. And a lot of times I wish I didn't do it. But it was transformational. She talked about her uncle, David Kadishan, and how he would call, come record me, including when his wife called, said, your uncle's going to die. He said, come record him one more time. Because there's nothing that's stronger than the love that exists between grandparents and their grandchildren. That's why I know we're not going to fail. We asked Cyril, we said, what do speakers of Tlingit need to feel strong? Because sometimes I feel like there's a big beaver dam right there in my brain. And for those of you who are thinking, when am I going to get there? Because sometimes I tease my students. I said, you're having those moments of realization. It's like you climbed on top of this hill. It was a really big hill. But it allows you to see that behind it there's a really big mountain because it takes a lot. But I say, but you know there's a mountain there. There's all these things you're going to see. You're going to get that information that our ancient people utilized to survive. Noah said, just Yuhan. You will be the ones who are going to stand up for our languages, not anybody else. And I'm only telling you this because I'm telling you, if you have barriers that you feel like are there, we're sending out messages, we're sending out prayers, hopes that those barriers are going to go away. One of the things that Cyril ended on when he was talking, and we put it on video, it was so incredible just to feel his passion. But throughout his speech, he said several times, in 1922, when I was born, we knew we were losing it. Our culture and our language, it was like we were just going to throw it away. But then I come in here and I see all these people, and it's like it lifts my head up. And then he says, my prayer will be this. Let Tlingit live forever. And when he said that, he just paused, and he had these bracelets and a watch on. It was clinking on the desk, and then he just makes these fists like this, and you could just feel him calling that into being. So my hope is, as you leave here, know that we're all continuing the work, and we're doing this with a sense of purpose and unity. Even if they're different languages, but we're all working together. We don't want to lose a single one. So we're going to keep thinking about ways to make this flow in an easier way, so that it's easier for you to do your job. And there'll come a time when there's too many of us for this room, there's too many of us for this campus. We have to build big, giant buildings. And our children will just be speaking. I was just listening to my people, my Haida people, talking about this language nest they're going to open. And to think a language is going to go from just a few speakers in Alaska to an immersion center for children. When those children start speaking, that's the thing I saw over and over in Hawaii. It says those children speak, as Larry Kimura, he said, let the children be the yeast. The people will see it, and they will come. I told the font I'd be short, so there. Thank you all so much.
Yaha Tlingit near Kwagin here. I said, that's how a Tlingit makes a short speech. tlagwint o sho didlet. Chukjunites get a genachan. That these last few days, I've become so happy. And yesterday evening, we were in our group, we were listening to our elders share stories, and I walked out of there, I think, with my spirit feeling stronger than it's felt in many, many years. And when I woke up this morning and I was coming in here, I continued to feel that same way. And I think that when I have that feeling, and maybe that's true for all of us, that we know we're walking on the right path that we were meant to walk on. We're doing the work that we were meant to do, and we are honoring our ancestors with that work. And we're thinking about the impact of this work on our one another as we build this unity with each other, build these relationships, and what light we're shining on our future generations. That fire that Khoi Trimble talked about, that coal that's carried, and then when we get to that next place, it's time to put it to the wood again and make it grow into a full fire once again. And in this room, you know, we have many teachers and elders who, many of you were the ones who are carrying those coals for us, and now you're sharing that with us in a way that us younger generation are able to put some of our breath onto it and help it ignite again, and ignite within us and help one another in that way. And I feel that in this space, there was only a few times I was able to look into some of the other rooms and spaces, and some people said, I didn't even know you were in our room. We thought it was just us working on our language together, and didn't even realize that I had walked in or poked my head in there for a little while just to listen, because I wanted to hear and get a sense of what was happening. And in every case, it was like miracles were happening in those rooms. The energy, the use of the language, the relationships. I think about how important and special those relationships are. I think for many of us who are second language learners, we're nervous, we're shy, we're challenged to want to speak the language, and building that relationship with those of you who are the first language speakers so that we can become comfortable speaking with you and staying in the language is such a powerful thing. And I think that's one of the things that I was reflecting on that's so important, I think, that I saw happening here during this gathering, is that we're able to build those healthy relationships so that this work that we're doing and learning and sharing our language and teaching each other becomes more natural and smooth. And some of that tension is lifted so that we can move forward more swiftly, breaking up the beaver dams in our brain. I got lots of those, by the way, Hune. And Nijin dinji ju nai tatak di ginjik kwai gogora lanazi gohesia. That when, as we get to that point where all of our people are studying our languages and working upon our languages, how beautiful that will be as that grows, because I think that's something that's so important in this work, and that was reflected here as we were gathered. I had younger people that were here saying they had no idea how powerful this would be for them. Some of them coming from different cultures but studying other languages, and they were feeling so welcomed and like they were going into that fold of our ancestral knowledge and understanding that Hune had spoken about, and how beautiful a thing that is, and they want to be a part of it. And I believe that that's where we're going to grow and lift that belief and understanding around the work of our languages. And I believe that those younger people will come, and older people, because they're going to want to be a part of this. And a big part of our work is to create those opportunities so that there's something there for them when they come, and we say, welcome, yes, come join us at whatever that is, in the class, in the camp, at the institute, whatever it might be that are the many shapes that our work's going to take moving forward from here. I want to thank Hune too for the remark about we're not just paper pushers. Because sometimes I think we could be seen that way as administrators and as workers in these institutions, but I also made a decision that even though those of us that are in our institutions, whether they're state institutions or K-12 or tribal organizations, that if as leaders in these institutions, it's also our job to put in that extra effort to learn our languages as well. Because as leaders, then we're reflecting back to our younger generation that we value our languages that much, that we're gonna put in that extra work beyond the regular work that we need to do in our positions, and we're gonna try to find ways to show the value of our languages too within the institutions. And I sure hope that here at Trathia that into this future we're able to find those ways to create more jobs and positions that are connected to our languages. You know, some of the dreams that I've been thinking of lately include having whole floors here at the Trathia campus where they're dedicated to people that are planning to just speak and live and work in their language. And they could be working from, you know, anywhere on campus, but if they're a part of this work to revitalize our languages, let's get them all on the same floor so they know that they can be staying in their language all day, because that was one of the reflections that were shared by the Native Hawaiians with me as well. That even after 5 years of study, it wasn't until they were able to be immersed in their language every day in a work setting till the language really locked in and settled in with them. And so we need to find those ways to create those spaces within our organizations and within these institutions. So you heard the chancellor on that first day talk about the Trathia, that Indigenous Studies Center up here. And we're dedicated to building that center, and it'll only hold 300 people in the gathering space. So, but I think we're already beyond 300 for the number with this language work. But we're gonna work towards champion building that Indigenous Studies Center and having Indigenous language and knowledge and our people's wisdom really grow into a foundational place, a worldview through which we look at education here at the Trathia campus at the university. Because I really think that that value of our knowledge and wisdom of our people is gonna be a guiding force for our education here and for the people. And I think that it'll even go beyond that. But that's the part of that vision that Kwai Peter John from Minto had for us here as well. That one day our young people would use this Western knowledge that we acquired and use that as a tool to help bring back our language and our culture and our knowledge. And I believe that that's the moment that we're seeing happen here, and we're all part of that, coming into that vision. I know a lot of our elders had that vision too. So I just want to say, Masicho, Datake Njit, Dinji Nai, thank you all so much for trusting in us to host you here, for giving it your all while you were here. And I want to apologize too, because I know that whenever we do something like this, we make mistakes, and sometimes it's a little bit stressful on the other side of the mic running things. And so I do want to apologize too if any of the things that we did that wasn't able to really secure the full thing. But we're going to learn from each one of these that we do and try to do better with the next one too as we move forward with these. So thank you all for all of that. So we're going to move into our closing ceremony. I've been instructed to remind you that we do have some lost and found stuff. So before we move into the closing ceremony, if you happen to have lost something, check out at that front desk after we do our closing ceremony, because it might be out there. Otherwise, we'll sell it for a fundraiser for the next institute. So at this time, we're going to move into the closing ceremony, and what we're going to do for this ceremony is the way that we had entered into the space. For those of you who are here, is we came in backwards and turning forward as we came into the room, and we made one large circle around the space. On the exit, and maybe Luke might explain this more too, but you're not going to go out backwards this time. This time you're going out facing into the future, carrying with you what this work we did here with one another. But what I'd like us to do is to form one large big circle around the outside. If our elders who can't stand much, scoot a chair out around them so that they can still be a part of our circle, but they could have a chair for themselves. And as we're doing that, I'm going to invite Luke and Anna to come up towards this part to join me on over here. So if I could have Luke and Anna join me up here, that would be great. So I think we're getting there. So Salak I wanted to he's here. He's right there. Oh. We're trying to find some kids. Man, you look around, it looks like we're a really big tribe, huh? One whole village in here. We, I just wanted to, before we wrap up with the closing ceremony, also just present Luke with a gift as well of a necklace. Both Luke and Anna, because they consistently show up not only for Trothiadet and the work that we do here, but also across the interior and across the state, really giving their all. And as many of us know, they don't have like a full-time regular position doing this. They're just responding to the invitations of our people. And it's like our elders, would say, hey, if someone asks you to do a good thing and you have the time and ability to do it, it's probably a good idea to do it. And I think they say yes all the time. And so I just wanted to I wanted to thank them and give them a necklace each as well. All right. So we're gonna. So I now am going to invite Luke to share some closing words with us for this gathering, Afterwards, we're going to invite up, if any Dena singers want to come here, just on behalf of the people of this land, to share a few songs to wish everyone well on their travels. And then we're going to have a couple closing prayers. And after that, we're going to, the drummers, just like we came in, will lead out the circle out into the area. After everyone's made our way out, then this institute is complete, but we still have this room available to us until 5. So if you want to come back in just to visit a little bit more, or go down to the multi-level lounge, you're welcome to hang out in the Wood Center a little bit longer if you like to.
I would like to thank everybody for joining us here in this place. I never thought, even think about myself being in this position. It's an awesome trip. Awful, a lot of things happen. And I'd just like to share a couple of things with you that 1985, I went to doctor and he gave me bad news that day. He told me that I had to quit drinking. He said, alcohol, he said, Luke, alcohol is killing you, he told me. It's, you're not going to live very long if you keep this up. And I was sitting right next to him. I was sitting in a chair next to the doctor. And when I was sitting down, I tell doctor, Doc, I got up off that chair. I stand up. I tell him, Doctor, I want to quit drinking. February 5, 1985, I got up off that chair, walked out of doctor's office, never to take a drink again. A lot of miraculous things happened to me. Another day, another thing happened. I told myself when I left boarding school that I was not going to sing or dance anymore. The heck with my language. The heck with my culture. I don't even have to do it anymore. It's so darn hard to try to be native those days. They used to punish us pretty good. I have some friends that went down that trail without any help. I lost a lot of friends. Other day I was counting how many of them, took their lives. I count 7 of them because of what happened. Another day I came to this place, and I like to say that a friend talked to me. I was telling them about that, what happened to me. He said he'd get something like this, and he'd let it go. One of the most powerful things I experienced in this meeting was to let that thing go and to say, I don't have to talk about that or dwell on this boarding school issue anymore. I'm going to just let it go. And I want to thank you very much for your word, for what you say to me. And with that, my grandchildren are here. 2 of them are here. And I've been able to sing and dance with them. They're going to dance with us here pretty soon. But they've been an inspiration to me, these people. And I think right now, the most inspirational I feel, and I don't believe in fortune cookies, but Anna gave me one today, and it told me I was going to get into new adventure or something like that. Doggone Anna, anyway. It was, but it is a new adventure. I mean, it is awesome. And when we do this part, I would like for you to know that I'm real thankful for you. My hope and prayers that you be lifted up by this experience, that you walk out of here empowered by the culture of your people, being empowered by the spirit of our native people with our language, our song, and our dance. And I never thought I'd lead this many people. You know, when I walk out of doctor's office, I never thought that. But today it's coming true, folks. It's really, I'm just saying that in my own experience, that what we're doing is one of the most powerful things of our people. And you're a big part of it, and I thank you. Thank you very much for allowing me to be a part of your cultural experience today.
Sing some songs.
I'm getting old. You have to remind me stuff over and over and over again. So, what we're going to do is starting the thing off. We have a little thing that in our culture, and those of you that got gifts, I don't know how many of them got a necklace here. How many get necklace today? You got necklace? Who's got necklace? Come over here. We want front and center, right there. Anybody else? Okay. What we're going to do is we're going to sing a song that was made up in Tanacross, Alaska, by the late Andrew Isaac. He got a gift from Potlatch. Somebody put on him, and he made song. And what we're going to do, we're going to sing that song, and we're going to have you help us dance here. And no cool stuff, but hang in there. And any visitors. And the other thing is, too, that a lot of you get handkerchief. Yeah? You get handkerchief? Your handkerchief. When we sing that song, you hold it up. I got gone, yeah. You hold up your handkerchief, and it's awesome. Okay, we'll sing that song for you.
that one way. Let's sing that new song. Yeah, we almost forgot it. Hey, 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 yo, flux and Lord, yeah. Hey, hey, flux and Lord, You ladies know it? You're educated, you guys. Okay, we're going to start from the verse, huh? Yeah. Okay. Satsiye fetto hosela. Satsiye fetto hosela. Hey, 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 oh, Satsiloya. Hey, 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 oh, Satsiloya.
Guys who are drum with us are going to sing now. They could exit on this side.
So let's form back into a big circle for the closing prayers. One more song, and then we're going to do closing prayers.
Nauta Lads go dran na nig drelan. Nakanaga nada rein laie. Not ladlo na ela. Ega hoort sin andrela. De basho. De tiktud. Hoch notati. Jo kanaga. Hoch de notai. Bedachtdeelta auch ta, bedachtdeelta, bedachtdeelta in gar schuret nie. Na in niet toch de beste dreland nog tak. Amen.
Creator God, we thank you for this day. We thank you for filling up our hearts with your precious water. We thank you for gathering us together to give us the strength and restore our language to us. So our grandchildren will be even stronger than we are today, that they will become the teachers for tomorrow. We thank you for all the gifts that we have received in these last few days. And Lord, we pray we never get tired of doing your work, that we could reach out our hands and pass that gift on to others. And we thank you for the people that don't even know our culture and traditions are here in this circle to help us be stronger and to teach us and to gather with us so we can worship you. We thank you in the name of Jesus. Amen.
All right, before we drum out, brown bag lunches are in the back for people who need to eat after we drum out, and the bus will leave at 5. Akot eh.